Looks like we've got Bethany here. Bob, welcome. Carol, can everyone hear me okay? First of all, if the audio is good, you have a chat box in your lower left-hand corner. If you just want to go ahead and type in the chat box if you can hear me okay. Jeremy, welcome. Johnny, Marcus, Mavakala. Oh, I like your last name, Mavakala. Martin, welcome. Nathan, welcome. Peter Paul Mendel, welcome. Stephanie, Tony, Victor, and then Carol and Johnny are the only ones that can hear me. This is tragic. So go ahead and put, you can hear me on the bottom left-hand corner of that chat screen. This is gonna be a very interactive webinar. So this is not a have it running in the background. We're actually going to take out this PDF. If you don't have it downloaded already, there is a link that I've pinned to the top of your chat box. If you look on the right-hand side of your screen, you'll see a pin tab there. That's how you can download the PDF if you haven't already. So go ahead and download that. Good, everyone's chatting now. Here we go. Perfect. Go ahead and download that beautiful PDF that my team put together. I'm kind of in love with it. And we're going to go through that. This is, again, not going to be like every other webinar where it's going to be like a giant sales pitch. I don't know, you guys, my industry drives me crazy. My industry is a lot of like information, but mostly, let's be honest, it's like, we're going to pretend we're going to give you information and we're mostly just going to pitch you again and again and again. That is not how I do business. And so today you are really going to get some information. So here's the thing. If you have this running in the background, it will do you no good whatsoever. This is a pen to paper. Right now, we're going to dive in and reorganize your entire to-do list and restructure it and give you some really good insights right now. If you think, oh, well, I'll just come back to this and watch it later, you won't. Just go ahead and move on. Like if you're going to play 100% and really be here. So I challenge you to close out email, close out social media, and truly be here. If you're going to do an hour of your time, let's be fully present, all in, and good to go. Sound good? All right, and then this is going to be an extremely interactive webinar as well, meaning I'm going to pause all along and ask for your questions, ask for your feedback, ask for your answers to my questions. And so the chat box is going to be very, very active. So go ahead and find that chat box, lower left-hand corner, sorry, right-hand corner, and we're going to jump in. So hi, everyone chatting already. Christina, hello. Nice to see you. Excited that you're here. And if you want my face to not block the slides, there's a little button on my face that you can click. It's a little like, I don't know, box inside of a box. Click that button and my face will shoot off to the side so I'm not in your way of your learning. So while people are still jumping on, and we're seeing a lot of more people come on, welcome TJ, welcome Patrick, Johnny, new people coming on, Dustin, welcome. You'll notice that there's a picture of me and my team. That just got awkward for a little bit. Let me just really quickly explain who we are and what we're doing. So first of all, this is me, obviously. This is our Christmas picture in red and green. This is my business partner, Mike Bonomo, and this is our COO. Her name is Ashley. Just so you know who we are and why we're presenting here, I've been the CEO and founder of eSimplified for 9 years now, 10 years. I think we just celebrated a 10-year anniversary. We had our very first, what we call a business intensive retreat in 2011, I think it was. So maybe we're on, so I think I started this company in 2010. So we're on year 10 of this business. I have built up and sold multiple businesses, sold a bunch of businesses in 2010, kind of cleared off my plate and started doing this consulting business. Honestly, why I started this business is because, oh man, do you guys know my industry? It's kind of full of fluff and hoorah and rah-rah, you can do it. And there was no like actual, how do I do it? I know I need to market, but how do I market? Or I know I need to be a good leader, but how do I be a good leader? Or how do I hire an employee? How do I take a product to market? How do I run a Facebook ad? Like there was very little in how to. It was all just, you can do it, feel good, rah, rah, that kind of thing, right? But I'm not saying that doesn't have a place. I'm just saying there was a big hole lacking in how to actually do business. So that's why I started this company. Mike Bonomo, my business partner, joined us, I don't know, probably about 4 years ago. He is incredible. He was on Shark Tank years ago, partnered with Mark Cuban, took his company to 8 figures, and then sold about 3 or 4 years ago, and then joined Partners with me. And he is our product expert. He has taken about 300 products to market, every retail box, big box store imaginable, as well as Amazon, Shopify. He is our online product guru. And then we have Ashley, who is so dang good with people and management. And so she helps us and helps our clients a ton with helping you to manage a team. So let's take a quick poll here. What kind of industry are you in? I want to hear the industries here. I'm going to tailor my content today to you and to your industries. So winery, ooh, that's fun. What state are you out of, Martin? I'm guessing you're out of California. Consumer products, awesome. Bethany, what type of consumer products? I want to know. You're out of California, perfect. Redding, California. Honey business. I love it. I'm guessing it's like physical, actually bee honey, which is cool. Booking them in taxes. What kind of industry do you serve? Across the board. The fundamentals I'm going to teach today are not dependent on your industry. Learning Center, Jewish Community Center out of Scottsdale, very cool. Office products, family therapy, hello Tony. Engineering, a goat dairy. Adorable. Thanks, Jeanette, for joining us. Customer service with Christina Law and Investments out of Long Beach, youth nonprofit, and Rearview Camera. Hi, Bob. Rearview Camera, and then Johnny is a nonprofit. Awesome. So we're across the board, all over the place. A lot of products today instead of services. There's a service, painter contractor Victor. And I'll try to remember some of your specific businesses and gear towards that. So really cool. And please, again, feel free to answer or ask as many questions as you would like to as we go. Let's jump into content, shall we? This is my brag slide. Honestly, I don't even care. Like you guys know enough about me. Let's talk about you. I've done a bunch of cool things in business. We're one of the fastest growing companies in the nation, one of the fastest growing companies in my state. Our company is based out of Salt Lake City, Utah, but we have offices in Phoenix and Houston as well. And then we're opening up Seattle later on this year. So we're growing like wildfire. And the reason I think we're growing so quickly is because people are actually looking for real business training, not hoorah and hype. So that's what we're going to do today. I do have a gift for you at the end of this webinar. Here's the thing. It's not like, hey, have a free ebook. It's a real deal gift. So I can tell you already, we used to sell this gift for $3,200, and I really will be giving this out today at the end of the webinar. So even if you can't give me your full attention for the next half an hour on this webinar, I would keep it running in the background. I'm going to rewind what I said before. Run it in the background just so you can get this free gift that we're going to give you at the end. And it's not an ebook, y'all. It's a real deal. Really good gift that I'm going to give to not all of you, but a lot of you who will qualify will get this at the end. How's that for like elitist? I just said not all of you can have it. Let's talk about what we're going to do today on the webinar. We are going to, first of all, download the PDF and print. If you haven't done that already, it's in the chat box, top of the corner right there. There's a little PDF that you're going to print out. We're going to start by deleting everything from your to-do list. So we're going to write down everything on your to-do list. Then we're going to take quite a few things off of that to-do list. So if you don't have your to-do list in front of you yet, go ahead and grab it. We are going to use your to-do list like crazy. We're going to prioritize your to-do list. We are going to talk about time wasters, and we're going to move you to action while you're on the webinar with me today. So let's jump into content. I have 2 rules for myself in my business. Only do the things that bring me money. And the second thing is actually do those things that bring me money, which means that a lot of the time that you have spent is doing things currently that don't bring you money. You are going to have to shift that. You're going to have to say no to some things that are important, say no to some things that are fun, and say no to some things that you love. And we're going to talk about that and how to weed those out in just a little bit. So go ahead and take out your current to-do list right now and pop it in front of you. And let's dive into analyzing this to-do list. Very first thing we're going to do is just focus on, because to-do lists can be so huge, and we call them 5 hats of business, right? So you wear the hat of leadership, the hat of marketing, the hat of sales, customer experience or service, finance, fulfillment, like you wear all these different hats in business. We're just going to focus on marketing today so we can keep this streamlined and so we can get through the content in this time. At our business intensive retreats, and I'll talk about those in a little bit later, we actually break down your entire business and just kind of dump it on the floor and then build up into a different system that we train there. But today we're just focusing on marketing, 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 marketing. That's it. So let's dive in. I'm putting here like a sample to-do list right here. So here's my sample to-do list for marketing. Post on social media, manage online ads, make how-to videos, go to networking meetings, write blog content, connect phone sales calls, flyer the neighborhood. The reason that's on there is because my very first business, hilarious. I didn't know how to do marketing at all. So I was like, well, I'm going to Kinko's. I'm spending $200, getting a bunch of flyers and passing them around the neighborhood. And yeah, it's not quite legal. So that's where I got my humble beginnings. Go ahead and write down your marketing to-do list. And then I want you to take out your PDF and turn to the very first page, which looks like this, My Marketing To-Dos. So pull that bad boy out, and I want you to divide up your to-do list for marketing into one of these 4 sections. So really quick training here. This top section are one-time tasks. These are things that you do one time, and then they're checked off of your list. These 3 sections down here are called ongoing tasks. These are things that you do again and again and again. So let's review really quickly our old previous one here. Post on social media. If you do that once, you might as well just not do it. So this has to be an ongoing. Let's say this is a daily, right? So you're going to put it in the daily section. Manage your online ads. Maybe you look at your ads every week and you tweak them. Make how-to videos. Maybe you do this every week. Go to networking groups. Maybe that's just a one-time thing. I'm just saying it is just to have a one-time thing on this list. Maybe writing blog content. Maybe you do that every week. Conducting phone sales calls. Maybe you call 50 people a week. And flyering the neighborhood. Hopefully that's a one-time thing and you never do that again because it's against the law, as discussed earlier. So Peter says, can you send me the list? Can get it to download. Right here is on the top of your chat box in that little link right there. So just go there, Paul. All right, so go ahead and fill out, and just while I'm talking, keep filling this out. All of your one-time tasks here, all of the things you do every day. And the goal is not to fill in this whole list. I really don't want you to do 5 things every day and 5 things every week and 5 things every month. That's not the goal, to fill in the lines. The goal is to write down accurately what you currently are doing in marketing on your to-do list daily, weekly, and monthly. And then, well, actually, let's stop there. You guys tell me when you're done. So in the chat box, just say, done, ready to move on, or whatever. So I'm going to give you some time here to get caught up with me. I told you this would be a working webinar, right? So go ahead and move those things over. While I'm waiting for you to get finished, I'm going to tell you a story. It's story time by Kim. I'm going to tell you when I did do flyering the neighborhood, I found out, you guys, the trick. The trick to how to do this legally, not legally. The post office, I used to flyer the neighborhood whenever I needed clients. Again, I had no idea, this is 20 years ago. I had no idea how to market. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to just put, flyers around in everyone's mailbox. And as soon as someone, gets me in trouble, then I will stop. So what happened is the post office called and they said, hi, this is not right. You're putting flyers in the mailboxes. And I found out the trick. I would say, oh my goodness, are they doing that again? I am so sorry. They're not supposed to be doing that at all. We will talk to them and make sure it doesn't happen again. So that was my trick 20 years ago of how to get past the postman or postwoman when they would call and get me in trouble. All right, no one is writing in there. Okay, Bob says he's ready. Is Bob the only one that's ready? Are the rest of you guys ready too? I want to see your replies in the chat box saying done. Okay, perfect. Christina is almost. Thomas is done. Perfect. Bethany's done. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, moving on here. So now that we have our list, I want you to go down and guess, give me an average of how many hours per week you spend on each of these tasks. So going back to my sample one, post on social media. Let's say I do this for half an hour a day. I hope you're not doing this for half an hour a day, but well, let's do 10 minutes a day. 10 minutes a day times 50, that's roughly 1 hour a week. And make these into weekly hours. Translate them into weekly hours. So don't put 5 hours a month. translate into weekly. Manage online ads. Maybe I spend 2 hours a week managing online ads. Make how-to videos. So I have to shoot it and then I have to edit it and come up with the ideas for it. Maybe that's 3 hours a week. Go to networking meetings. That's just a one-time thing. So I'm not going to add it to my weekly hours. These are my weekly hours. Write blog content. Maybe that takes me 2 hours a week. Conduct phone sales calls. Maybe I do that an hour a day. So that is 5 hours a week. And anything that's one time, you're not going to add towards your daily, weekly, and monthly list. Where can you find this stuff? It's the top. It's like in the middle of the chat box, TJ. So if you scroll up the chat box, you'll see a bit.ly link that's pinned there. Tell me how many hours per week you spend in this section right here. So yeah, let's actually not do this section the one time. Let's just do this section down here. So grand total, how many hours per week are you spending in marketing? Let's take that number first. And as soon as you have that number, put that in the chat box for me. 10 to 15, perfect. So Tony, we're actually gonna go for a real number on that. So give me a real number. Is it gonna be 12? And actually take the time to go through every single one and do a solid number on every single line item. And you'll see why in a little bit. I'm not being anal for the sake of being anal. Well, my team will be like, yes, she is. I like exact numbers. Perfect. 13, 15 for Patrick. Wait for a few more of you to type in here. 5 hours, perfect. And there's no shame, Thomas. It's not supposed to be embarrassingly low. Don't worry about it's too high, it's too low. We're not going to do any of that. What we're going to do with these numbers is actually just personal to you. So it doesn't matter what people's numbers are. 7 for Bob, 20 for Bethany, 11 for Christine. Good. I just want to get the numbers to see where we're at and to see if we're tracking. And Nathan's 24 and Johnny's 8. Perfect. Moving along here. Okay. We're going to take out the next page in the PDF. And if you don't have it, no worries. You can just draw this on your paper in front of you. What are cash quadrants? So this first cash quadrant right here are things that are urgent. The clock means urgent. And things that bring you money. So Q1 would be things that bring you money right now. And go ahead and write the definition on this page right here. This is just your definition page. What are the cash quadrants? Q1 are things that bring you money right now. Q2 are things that bring you money, so that's still true, but they don't bring you money right now. So these things bring you money, but later. And this is hard to write on, so I'm just going to put lat. That means later. Okay, so quadrant 3 are things that are urgent. They must be done. These are fires to put out. They're screaming at you, but they do not bring you money. So this is no money, but it must be done now. How's this for the messiest page you've ever seen? Let me see if I can make this drawing thing work better. Let's see if I can make it thinner. Oops, I think I just made it fatter. Hold on. There we go. Okay, and then the last quadrant here is things that make you no money. So no money here, and that they can be done later or never. So I want to propose to you now, later or never. So those are your cash quadrant quadrants. Any questions on that? Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Okay, pop quiz. What's a Q4? Pop quiz. Yeah, this is happening here. In the chat box, what's a Q4? Makes no money, can be done later or never. Good job. Okay, good. We paid attention. All right, let's jump in. I love it. Okay, so go back to this original sheet right here, and we're going to go through and we're going to ask ourselves what quadrant, what are these things are, let's actually quadrant the whole thing. Let's go to my list first of all. Let's go to post on social media. I'm going to change my mind on that. Let's just do quadrant ones right now. Does this bring you money right now? Does posting on social media bring you money right now? Unless you are posting ads, which this is not what we're asking. We're posting. This is not going to be a Q1. Managing online ads, if they bring directly, like if they lead to a sale directly, that's your Q1. Make how-to videos, no. Go to networking meetings. Unless you're selling at those networking meetings, it is not a Q1. Writing blog content, no. Conducting phone sales calls, this is your Q1. We're bringing in money right now. Does that make sense? So let's talk about these Q1s more in depth here. Let me give you some examples. That we have a therapist on the line. And we've worked with quite a few therapists in our history, so we're very familiar with the therapist business. But honestly, it really doesn't matter what business it is. Like, these principles are they're just across the board. If I was talking to a therapist and they were like, I am dead broke, I cannot pay my bills this week, how am I going to stay in business one more day? What do I do? The very first thing we do is we point to your Q1s and we say, what could you do right now to bring in money? And it's not going to be things like, I'm going to go to a networking group and get some leads and follow up with them and do the regular kind of process, because that's not going to bring in money right now. What brings in money right now? Maybe I go to a networking group and offer a one-time $50 stress management session, and I sign up right then, and I bring in the money right then by booking 3 sessions while at the event. Credit card in hand, that's a Q1. So that's what you do when you're pressed for money, right? But you don't want to operate your business like that, always pressed for money. So you would need to, and I'm jumping way ahead here, but I'm going to go here anyway. You would need to build up your pipeline or your funnel of Q2s that would get all those leads geared towards you. And then your Q1 is to follow up with those leads in a sales call. Usually you're going to do sales on the phone, in person, or online. Those are your 3 options for sales. Look at your list of your to-do list. How many things do you have on this list that are Q1s? There's a really good chance that you have almost no Q1s, that you spend your time as the CEO running the marketing department and having leads coming in, or maybe not, but then there's nothing that says, okay, this is where I follow up with the client. This is where I ask for the sale. It's almost like you're waiting for people to come to you and say, can I purchase? So look through your list, and I want you to write down the tasks on your list that are Q1s, and we're going to move them from here onto the next page in your PDF that looks a little like, or exactly like, let me see if I can find it. I can't find it in the slides, but it looks like this right here. And I want you to actually fill in the Q1s right here. And let's take some chat box here. What are some of your Q1s, or do you have Q1s? What are your favorite Q1s? What actually closed the deal for you? None right now. Good to know, right? And Christine says tours. If I do tours, that is what I sell. And that's not obviously conducting the tours, or is it? Do you sell on the tours, Christina? You sell on the tours. Perfect. Every time you run a tour, she's selling on the tours. That is her Q1. Answering customer calls. Bob, awesome. Now, if they're customer calls, if they're already a customer, that's not a Q1, right? But if it's a brand new customer, if like it's a prospective customer, then it's a Q1. Upsell current wholesalers. Awesome. Taking your existing lead or your clients and upselling them is absolutely a Q1. Jeanette, not doing much marketing right now. I need you to move to marketing before anything else. Marketing is the engine of the business. It's the only thing that as CEO you cannot put down. You can put down finance and have messy books. You can put down customer experience, and I hate to even say this, but you could put down customer experience for a little bit and still have a business. But you cannot put down marketing and sales and still have a business. It is the end all be all. What your job as CEO is to do is to make sure if you're juggling all of these balls, that marketing and sales ball cannot get put down. So that's your first thing you're gonna do, is pick that right back up and say, how do I bring in leads and how do I close those leads? Let's see, walk-in client places orders, swipe card for order. Perfect. So what do you do to get the walk-in clients? Because the clients walking in absolutely is your Q1, but how do you get them to walk in? That one behavior that you do, it's probably 30 behaviors that you do, but what's the one behavior that you do to get the client to walk in the door? One-on-one meetings, perfect. You answer customer calls, awesome. And that's a really passive Q1, right? It's like waiting for the phone to ring. And that is, I'm not trying to shame you here, Jeanette, that is many, many business owners who come to us. They come to our retreats, and I'll talk about those in a second, but they come to our business intensive retreats to learn how to build this whole marketing cycle. So they're not just sitting around waiting for the phone to ring, that they're in charge of their business. And then Destin says, my trouble is not getting work, it's getting employees to do the work. That is a leadership structure issue. And I want to dive into that and solve it right now, but I cannot. You guys are great. Good. Really good discussion, by the way. Okay, so now we've got our Q1s. Let me give you one more example of a Q1. Let's see, here's a Q1 for a remodel contractor. Let's say I'm a remodeler, which would be hilarious because I can barely pick up a hammer. But the very first thing I would do is call all past clients and ask for projects, and then hopefully close some right there and then on the phone. I have a window you can fix for $500, or just some quick money right now is the Q1. So those are your Q1s. Let's move on now. Word of mouth, previous happily clients, signage on the main retail. Perfect. Okay, so Wendy, I'm so glad you said that. And let's go down this little rabbit hole really quickly. When I ask prospective clients, what are your what are your marketing methods? A lot of people tell me word of mouth. The reason why I don't even call this marketing is because you are not in control of it, right? And that it's like the gravy. Whenever people come to you, they just heard about you, they got referred to you. That's awesome, but that's not a faucet I can turn on and off. If I'm waiting for the phone to ring or waiting for clients to refer people to me, I'm waiting for money to come to me, and I am not in control of my business. If I don't have a faucet I can turn on and off, I have no way of saying, okay, this year I'm going to double revenue growth, or this year I'm growing by 20% or 40% or 200%. I'm not in control of my business. If you simply wait for the phone to ring and wait for referrals to come to you and you're doing a good job, your business will probably grow. It'll probably grow by 10% a year, and it'll take you 10 years to get to that aggressive growth that really makes a difference in your business. We, as a company, grow pretty much 100% revenue growth year over year over year. Aggressive growth. I'm not saying everyone has to have that growth, but I do want you as a business owner to be in control of your growth, which means we need a marketing funnel that you can turn on and off. And I am just on this rant that I need to stop. Wendy, are you hearing me? We need to build a marketing funnel and not just wait for word of mouth. No comments. I just went on a 5-minute tirade and not a single comment. What do you guys think? Agree, disagree? Do you have a funnel? Do you hate funnels? Do you want one? Wendy is like, thumbs up. Yes, I need to build it. Awesome. We are listening. Perfect, Bethany. Here we go. All right, let's jump in more. Let's go to our next quadrant, which is Carol's building it. I love it. Pam says you're smart. Pam, I'm a fan already. You can tell me I'm smart. I'll be a fan. All right, so our Q1s we already talked about. Now let's talk about our Q2s. Let's go to our Q2s. Q2s are things that bring you money later. So not now, but later. Q2s for a therapist. Q2s are building a product or building a marketing system so that one day clients will come through and be able to get closed on the back end through your Q1. Does that make sense? So maybe my Q2 is I'm going to create a stress management class. I'm going to drive ad traffic, sign up for the class, and then I'm going to offer 6-week counseling packages, one in anxiety, one in marriage, and one in life transitions. See what I'm doing here? This is building products, and then building product funnels, and then sending the ad to the product funnels. These are all Q2s. They will all make you money as long as you finish them, complete them. They will all make you money, but they'll make you money down the road. That's a Q2. Look through your to-do list. Let's go through my original to-do list as well. Posting on social media. Honestly, oftentimes the way we post on social media does not put this in the Q2 category. If we don't have a goal for, okay, what I'm doing on social is I'm building this following, and then I'm going to drive them to like a group, and then in the group I'm going to do a webinar. That's a Q2. Posting with no rhyme or reason just to post, I would not put as a Q2. Honestly, I'd put it as a Q4. So Q2s are, I know that I'm building this platform so that one day they will go down the platform. So be willing to be honest with yourself. Make how-to videos and post. This could be a Q2. I'm building this following. I'm nurturing this following. They're going to be driven to this space. Or it could be I'm just throwing stuff out to the universe and hoping. If it's strategic, it's a Q2. If it's a throwing things to the universe and praying, then it's a Q4. We'll get to that in a second. Going to networking meetings. If I'm going to networking groups and I am sitting and chatting with the ladies or, hanging out with cool people, but really not moving everyone down a funnel or down the funnel, that is not a Q2. But if I go to a networking group and I say, okay, every time I go to a networking group, I collect 5 leads. I then take those 5 leads and I call them all, for example, and I take them out to lunch. Now we have a marketing funnel. Now we have a Q2. Are you getting the idea here? So I'm going to say a Q2 on that one. Writing blog content. Again, once a month, if I throw some blog content out there, it does me no good. If I'm like, okay, strategically, I am trying to build this, then it's a Q2. Tell me what your Q2s are. Where are your Q2s? And Martin says, that's where I live. Wineries have a very long cycle. Yes, and make sure that we don't hide behind this. I'm not saying you are at all, but people with long cycles often use that. And this is going to sound like I'm trying to blame you. I'm not even kind of. I'm just saying from experience, people with long business cycles tend to use that as an excuse as far as they say, oh, well, I'll just keep putting stuff out there, and one day, someday, someone will want to buy. So make sure we're not falling into that pattern where we are taking them through the cycle, even if it's a long cycle. Okay, this is the nurture phase, and this is where I send them a bottle of wine every single week or whatever it is. And then this is the closing phase where I get on the phone with them, where I fly out to their place or whatever it is. Perfect. Yep, a build it while they come does not work for us. Yay! That's the worst phrase ever in existence for business owners. Don't do build it when they come. Perfect. Optimize website conversion rate. Yes. List on new sales channels. Yes, yes, yes. Perfect. You guys are getting this. Let's move on to our third quadrant. Our quadrant 3 is stuff that is a fire. It's yelling at us, but it does not bring us money. Most things in marketing will be Q1s and Q2s, marketing and sales. Very few things in marketing will be a Q3. These are like fires. Usually marketing isn't fires. Here are things that really were on my Q3 a few weeks ago. Hang blinds in the sales floor. We just split our sales floor. So now we have 2. And my poor salespeople were sitting there with like the light blinding their eyes. That's a Q3. Now, I'm not saying it's not important. I'm not saying that long-term your business is sustainable if you're regularly ignoring your employees' requests, especially when it's for things that are legit. Like, please hang blinds. I'm sitting in front of a window and getting blinded, right? Like that's important. I'm not saying Q3s are not important. That's not what we're asking. We're simply putting it through the filter of, does it bring me money? That's all. That's the only filter we're putting it through. Does it bring me money? It's not, do I want to do it? It's not, is it important? Is this important for the company or for my employees? It's just, does it bring me money? And hanging blinds does not bring you money. Maybe if you're a blind hanger, it would, but not for me. Get IT manager to post talk time stats. This is a real request that I got from our sales team manager. And he said, hey, I really want the IT manager to post talk time stats every week. And me getting my IT manager to do that, honestly, because it's a research thing, might be important, might be good to know. It might make decisions made more, it might make better decisions made, but it does not bring me money. Does that make sense? Add a meeting to the calendar for next week does not bring me money. Tell me something that's on your list that's a Q3. Company management meetings. Yes, they're important. We're not asking if it's important, but it's a Q3. E-Simplified. What are your Q3s? That's hilarious. Right here are 3 of them. Hang blinds in the sales floor. Get IT manager to post. Let's see. Training staff. Good. Redo samples in showroom. Perfect. File sales tax returns. Yes. All of finance is in Q3, right? Send out birthday cards. Purchasing. Pay insurance. Yes, yes, yes. Those are all Q3s. Good. Reading the marketing book, Pam Bennett, if it goes directly into you building out your marketing funnel, that's arguably a Q2 on that one. So either way, Q2s, Q3s. Let's move on to our last quadrant, which is our Q4s. Wah, wah. Let me tell you, first of all, the 5 traps of the Q4. Q4s usually end up in one of these 5 categories. The first category is research. I am a researcher. I love to research. I like to go down lots of rabbit holes. Where are my other researchers on the line? Let's hear it. Bob is, Pam, Bethany, Thomas, guilty. Yes, Carol. There's lots of researchers. Maybe I should ask who are not my researchers. Research is a really easy trap to get to fall into, and we're going to talk more about that in just a second. The second thing, do things that other people should do. How many of you have employees? And let's do this instead. Let's actually say, how many employees do you have, or contractors that you use on a regular basis? Our team, we have, I don't know, a little under 30 employees, I think, and then we use about 30 contractors every week. So our team is about 50 to 60. Where are you guys at? 12 to 15, 3, 5, 2, perfect. 250, go Christina. One contractor very rarely for Bob, 5, 30, but good. So most of you guys do have employees. So we're doing things that other people should do. I would guess if I looked at your to-do list right now, there are 2 or 3 things on there that your team should be doing and not you. So that's really, really common. The third one is planning and organizing. You guys, this one's like my weakness. If I had a weakness, this is it. It's like a strength turned up 2 notches too high. Have you guys heard that before? Your strengths turned up 2 notches too high become your weaknesses. Planning and organizing are what I love, and this is what I get sucked into a lot of times. Conversations about nothing important, especially when you have a team working with you. Oftentimes we pretend like we're in meetings when really we just go into someone else's office just to gossip. Let's just be honest. Cleaning the office, yes. If anyone here works from home also, that can be a huge, like, you get sucked into that. Strings that do what too high? Strengths. So Martin, strength, sorry, I'm going to blame my Georgia accent. I'm from Georgia, so I'm going to blame it on that. Your strengths that are turned up 2 notches too high turn into your weaknesses. Thanks for clarifying your strings. And then fun, busy work. Let's take a quick poll. What is your fun, busy work? We all have some. What's your fun, busy work? Mine, honestly, is probably reorganizing the same data again in a different format. Let's see, Tiffany on our team, she is our client services director. She says Q4 is fall into these 5 categories. Oh, she's just writing down. She's recapping the content. Simplified, what is your fun, busy work? What is my fun, busy work? Is moving things around, downloading another organizational platform, and another organizational platform, making to-do lists. Yes. So let's talk about each of these here. Let's talk about the whys behind the Q4s. Research makes you feel secure. You tell yourself, okay, right now we're switching over to merchant accounts. If I research not only 3 merchant accounts, but research 5 merchant accounts, then I will be able to find the absolute best deal or the absolute best thing out there. And in the process, I've delayed that decision by a couple of weeks, and any benefit that I would have received, I now have discounted because it's 2 weeks and my team is starting to get disgruntled that we haven't switched over yet. So research makes you feel secure, and the ultimate irony of it all is it oftentimes does the opposite. It makes your company less secure because you're less willing to take action. Action really is what makes or breaks the company. Number 2, do things that other people should do. It makes you feel important. Oh, no one else could do that. It makes me feel important, right? Plan and organize makes you feel secure again. If I have this all planned out, then nothing will ever go wrong. And that's always the case in business, right? Conversations makes you feel connected. And then fun, busy work distracts you from the hard stuff. And a lot of you are typing in what your Q4s are. Organizing files again and again. Facebook nosiness. I know nothing about that. Yeah, those are all your Q4s. Beautiful. Okay, so let's go back then to that original to-do list way back here. And actually, you guys built it into this baby right here. Let me see if I can find it on my slides. I can't find it. Anyway, it looks like this right here, where you write in your Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 priorities. I want to make sure that those are all divvied out, that you have your Q1s, Q2s, Q3s, Q4s all in the right category. And we're going to take some bold action right now. So breathe through it. Let's actually take, this is cheesy, but we're going to do it. Big deep breath in, exhale that out. The only way you are going to have time to build your business, to actually grow your business, is to let go of the things that are wasting your time. You are going to have to let go of not only your Q4s, but you are going to have to procrastinate your Q3s. You are going to procrastinate your Q3s as long as possible. Breathe through it. Breathe through it. You don't want to do your Q3s. If you can push them off, you will, because I want you to double the time that you spend on your Q1s and your Q2s. If you took the time, let's say you spend 10 hours a week, 15 hours a week on Q3s and Q4s, if you can take those 10 to 15 hours and apply those to your Q1s and your Q2s, what would your business look like? Let's just take some chat on that. What would that look like if you stop doing Q3s and Q4s for as long as possible on your Q3s and your Q4s not at all? What would your business look like if you took all of those hours? Carol, you'd work fewer hours. Yes. And if you're working more than 40 hours, I do want you to work fewer hours. If you're working 40 hours, I want you to take those 10 or 15 hours and not delete those. I want you just to put them, apply them to your Q1s. What if you were spending, instead of an hour a day doing sales calls, what if you were spending 5 hours a day doing sales calls? Shoot me now, first of all. But then what would your business look like? Blow it out of the water. Awesome, Arian. That's the goal I want you to see. I'm making forward progress instead of keeping my head above water. Yes. And it requires discipline, because you will have to not do those things that you are so in the habit of doing. All those Q4s, and the hard part for people is the Q3s. Oh no, you're telling me not to balance my books? I'm telling you not to balance your books until you have those sales coming in. That is more important. And it's hard because a lot of those Q3s are important. They make you feel secure. They make you feel like you're doing good in the world. You're being a good business owner. You're keeping all those boxes checked. And if you aren't making profit, you are not in business. And so as the leader of your company, you get to take your emphasis away from things that are Q3s, Q4s, and put them all towards your Q1s and Q2s. More financial fun and free time. Yes. I'd work out, Wendy. Yes. And the goal really would be to be able to see, okay, I could actually grow my company significantly if I just changed around my to-do list. All right, so the last question I've got for you is, what is your one small step that you are going to do today? So not next week, not one day, someday, but today. What are you going to do today? Are you going to let me go through my little sample list up here and see what we could do off of this list. So show you as an example. So, whoops, that's not my list. Here's my list. Okay, so maybe on social media, maybe I'm going to not post on social media until I have made 2 cold calls. That would be a great example of that. Maybe I am going to go to a lot more networking meetings and have the goal of getting 5 leads per networking group. Maybe I'm going to go in and edit my existing blog content for every 3 blogs to point to a product to purchase, for example, instead of just writing blog content for blog content. What is one thing that you can do today? Stop doing bills right now. Do you know what? It's hilarious. And I'm going to say, yes. I'm not saying don't pay your bills, but let's bring in that money. That's hilarious, Tony. I'm going to do some follow-up on previous connections. Yes, that's your Q1. That's perfect. Jeremy, currently building infrastructure that can support an increase in work while maintaining efficiency. Staff is already bogged down because of the poor absent systems. I feel you, and I'm so glad you said the word systems. We're going to talk about that too. Let's hear a few more. A bunch of you are still typing here. What is the one small step you're going to do today? And if it feels overwhelming, make it smaller. Maybe you're going to take 1 blog and put 1 call to action on 1 blog. It'll take you 10 minutes. That's all you're going to do. But you're going to take 1 small step. Carol, review the small areas. Leadership, finance, customer fulfillment, product development, marketing, and sales. Great. Sales calls, return 2 calls you've procrastinated. Yes, those are your Q1s. 1 strategic Facebook post in the group. I like that. So that's your 1 step. I'm going to add another thing to your step. Shall I? If you have not come to our business intensive retreat, this is the part where I give away the gift. I have a gift to you, and that is, again, not for everyone. I cannot invite everyone to this retreat, but for those of you who qualify, I would love to invite you to attend as my comped guest to a business intensive retreat. One of you mentioned systems. We are going to build out your systems for your business while you're at a retreat. So this is 2.5 days. It's intense systems training. This is the style of the content. Whether you come to our offices in Houston, in Phoenix, or in Provo, we move at this pace, and it's this targeted. It's going to be like, no, let's not talk fluff and theory. Let's actually get pen to paper and let's actually build this out. So 2.5 days, you're going to build what we call the plug and play business system. You're going to create your 7-step marketing system. It's called Cycle Sales. You're going to launch your leadership system. So marketing system, operations system, and leadership system all in 2.5 days. This is for established business owners. If you have a goal of opening a business, you are not ready for this content. This is for established business owners. You're already up and running. You're already bringing in revenue, and you're already realizing I'm drowning. So if that sounds like you, we'd love to invite you to a business intensive retreat. So let's go through what you're going to learn. Day 1 is what we call macros and micros. This is how to essentially break down those big projects into smaller pieces. This is a project management component. Day 2 is going to be all day marketing. We're going to learn, again, the Cycle Sales marketing system. It's 7-step system. This applies whether you're online sales, whether you're retail, whether you are B2B, whether you have brick and mortar, whether you're a therapist, whether you're a plumber. This 7-step marketing system is the foundation of everything that you're going to build. And Jeremy says, I've been to one of these retreats a few months back. One of the best trainings I've been to, honestly. Thank you, Jeremy. I really appreciate that. And that's why you said that word, systems. Then the next day, day 3, is your plug and play business system. You're going to learn your ongoing task management system, project management system, predictive sales system. We're going to take out spreadsheets. Even if you're scared of them, we're going to take out spreadsheets, and we're going to walk you through how to track ad management and other things on there as well. And then we're going to talk about a leadership system for managing employees. We have people who come to our retreats with no employees, and we have people who come to our retreats with hundreds of employees. The key is, though, it's just the business owner and partners that are invited. Employees are not invited to the retreats. Sorry, wah wah. So you and your business partner or partners are invited, or your spouse is invited as well. So it will be the marketing cycle sales system, the plug and play business system, and all of your meals are included. We're pretty intense here. In case you can't tell, we're pretty intense here, and we like buckle down and do 2.5 days hardcore. If we took 2-hour lunch breaks, we wouldn't be able to get through all the content. So all of your meals are provided. You're going to systematize your entire business in 2.5 days, and make sure and bring business partners so you guys can all be on the same page. This is what our Phoenix office looks like. It's beautiful. Right in here is our training room. It's going to be different than the training room that you'd expect. You're going to expect a big, giant like auditorium. Nope, this is going to be 10, 12 people all sitting in couches with your laptops. It's going to be super intimate. There's going to be lots of people there to help you. You'll get lots of one-on-one time. It's really, really intense. And then here is our Houston office. You know what? We just barely opened our Houston office. There's some pictures on the floor over here. Our logo's not up here. We'll get a better picture for Houston, but the Houston office is nice as well. Now, the Provo office, let's talk about Provo for a second. Even if you are from a different place of the country and it's easier to go to Phoenix or Houston, I still want to invite you to come join us in Provo, Utah. We're right outside of Salt Lake City Airport. So you'll fly into Salt Lake. We're about, 40 minutes away from the airport. And you'll come meet me. You'll come meet Mike Bonomo, my business partner. You'll meet Ashley, our COO. It's kind of like our mothership hub. And so all of our employees are out of Provo. If you want to come to the mothership and meet me, and I try to retrain it. I try to do some training at every single retreat. So I'd love to meet you there, sit down and have dinner with you. If that is what you want, then come to Provo. I like people coming here. So, but come to any of our locations. And then Jeremy said the Houston office was great. Awesome. So how do you come? You have to call us. Here it is right here. Here is the phone number. These are legit my people on my team. Aren't they adorable, that are waiting for you right now? This is the three people out of the 12 that are represented right here. So this is Brady, Carrie, and Ryan. They're sitting here waiting for you to call right now. They're going to take you through a screening process. Of course, we can't invite everyone, but we would like to invite everyone who qualifies to come as my comped guest. We used to sell this event for $3,200, and now we make it a scholarshiped event for those of you who are qualified from time to time. So we'd love to invite you. My team will be reaching out to you. If you don't have time to call right now, my team will reach out. But if you want to just say, yes, let's go, let's systematize, let's make 2020 a fabulous year, then go ahead and do that. Let me know any questions that you guys have. What questions do you have in the chat box? Let me ask you, while we're waiting for questions to come in, let me tell you what questions you probably have. One of the questions will be, why do you do this for free? Is this just going to be a giant sell-a-thon? If you like my ratio today of content versus sell-a-thon, then you will also like that ratio when you come to the retreat. This is not a multi-trainer event. This is not, I don't know how much you have been to training events, but sometimes they have like speaker after speaker after speaker and everyone pitches something new. That's not this at all. This is all of our content. You will get absolutely one pitch. It'll be on day 3. We will not do funny business. We will not back you into the corner and steal your wallet and run. We will treat you with the absolute respect that you deserve because you are a business owner, and we'll essentially say, this is what we've got. If you like it, awesome. If you don't, no problem at all. Our goal is to have you leave the event, whether or not you participate in anything further with eSimplified. We want you to walk away with that systems piece in check and in play. And I think you'll be very happy with the quality of the event, no matter if you participate in anything further or not. So that's one of the questions that people ask all the time. I've got 3 other people chiming in with other questions. Let me see, what other questions we have? Special diet accommodations, I can answer that right now. If you are in a special diet, bring your own food. We have refrigerators, you can stash it in there. We can't accommodate everyone's diet, obviously. Let's see, Carol says, I'm changing my sole propriety business into two employee-owned businesses. Would this be appropriate? Absolutely. And in fact, when you're going through structural business changes, what do I do with these employees? Do I make them into business partners? My business partnership is not working. How do I structure this? LLC, S Corp, whatever. Please come to a retreat. It's a great time to kind of reset, and you'll sit down with our business strategist. You'll get one-on-one time with your business strategist, and you can bring any question to the table. I'm really struggling with this. How do I implement this? My business partner and I hate each other. Whatever it is, my employees are, dragging me through the mud, whatever it is, like, come to a retreat and you will get that one-on-one time with your strategist and be able to answer all of those questions. Evan says, awesome group of people. I went to training 2 years ago. Loved it. Great use of time. Evan, I'm so glad you liked it. You are welcome to return back with us. You're welcome to attend again. There's no additional fees or anything like that. We'd love to invite you to come and visit us a second time now that you're in a different phase of business. That's what's kind of cool. So it is kind of cool though. Like, people who have 3 employees and people who have 30 employees are in the same room together, and the content is still the same content, but it applies to the person of 3 very differently than it applies to the person of 30. So it's pretty cool. All right, there's some more questions coming in here. Jeremy says, me and my partner were not able to do the eSimplified program at the time. We were treated with respect regardless. Awesome. Wonderful business model with great trainers. We recommend this to anyone wanting practical understanding of how to structure a good business model with solid systems. So there you are from Jeremy. He says, like, even if you never do anything with us again, totally fine. Come to a business intensive retreat. My goal, honestly, you guys, like, I want to open up these centers all across the country. I want it to be like a no-brainer. Every single business partner comes to a business intensive retreat. They get those foundations set. They get their systems up and running. The fail rate of business is so abysmal. I don't want to quote it because I don't want to put that negativity in the air. But there are some really simple things that we can do training-wise to make sure that you guys have that structure in place of your systems. Carol says Phoenix dates. We have dates all the time. Carol, what you're going to do is you're going to call that number right there and you're going to ask them, what dates can I come to Phoenix? We have retreats almost every single week. What you need to ask is, or what we need to find out is which ones are full and which ones still have availability, and we'll get all those dates to you. But great question. Christina said, do you ever come to the business and educate a larger leadership team over a 2-day retreat? Christina, we don't come to the business. We tried that model out. It's more of a corporate training model, and it's just not what we do. What you can do, though, is have you and your business partners come to us, and we would love to do that training with you. But great question. Other questions? We've got 3 more people typing in. I'm trying to think of other questions that are regularly asked so I can ask them or answer them proactively. Times of the retreat, how's that sound? So it's Wednesday. They always start Wednesday evening, with a few exceptions. We have a few dates that are different days, but Wednesday evening we start at 4:30 and go till about 8:30 at night. And then all day Thursday, all day Friday. So, and when I say all day, I mean all day. Like plan on 9 a.m., 9 p.m. Like that's all day long. We've got a ton of content for you. And it's not just sitting there taking notes and like trying to get it all. You're trying to implement it as you go as well. And Destin says, I thank you. I'm going to go calling as soon as you're done. Perfect. I am done, y'all. Unless there's any other questions, should I call the number to chat about more details? To look for about 30 to 40 team leaders. That would be awesome, Christina. If you have 30 to 40 team leaders, are they all like their own small businesses? Are they all business owners? Or is it, are they all team leaders within your company? Either way, go ahead and call. And so leaders within. Okay, perfect. So call the number, Christina, and let's see what we can do for you. And we're going to end that there. Thanks so much, everyone. You guys have been super responsive, and it's been a pleasure training you today. And as always, remember to play big in your business. Thanks, everyone. Thank you.